A bully is not just someone who kicks a kid on the curb to steal someone's lunch money. Though it is bad to steal and hurt people, people do it anyway. It is a huge deal to bully, but an even bigger deal to bully those with disabilities. According to the National Bullying Prevention Center, there are only 10 U.S. studies on the subject, but all of those studies shows a high percentage of disablist bullying compared to bullying in general. MNCAP's study shows 82% of disablist bullying compared to 25% of non-disablist bullying. Believe it or not, there are laws to protect disabled students. According to the National Bullying Prevention Center, students in special education are protected by the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, a federal law. Each state has to enforce this act by law. Section 504 is another federal law that prevents harassment and declares that student is an equal opportunity to education as any other student. Students with disabilities already have issues academically, but when they're bullied, it can take a toll on their education. According to the National Bullying Prevention Center, research shows that bullying can negatively impact a student. They may feel compelled to be absent, their grades will decrease, loss of concentration, loss of academic achievement, and higher dropout rates. Some may bully these kids because of the way they act or appear. According to the Spotlight briefing, students with learning disabilities or autism may seem unusual by the way they act or appear. Their social skills may not be as high as their peers, causing lack of good quality friends or trusted friends. A current controversy on the subject is our President Donald Trump and his views on disability. Daniel Marnes from the Huffington Post claims that people with disabilities and their families are afraid of Trump and his policies, specifically harmful drastic changes in policy. The main worries consist of Trump's desire to weaken the country's safety net, federal agencies' roles in policing discrimination. During his campaign, Trump's views were not clear, and his mockery of the reporter with a joint conditioning is not reassuring. Autism activists and other disability activists describe it as a disaster. Another controversy is that in the UK, disability law enforcement is not in place. Nicola Clark from The Guardian News and Media reports that in July of this year, 2 major events occurred. One in Miami when a care worker, Charles Kinsley, was shot in the leg by a police officer providing care for an autistic man who was sitting in the street playing with a toy truck. Kinsley tried to reassure the autistic man while laying on the ground with his hands in the air. Another event occurred in the home care center in Japan when 19 learning disabled students were shot and killed. The murderer claims that it was punishment for having a disability. In a more local standpoint, our own school district fails to address special education protection laws. There is a major decline of special education students in Texas, Denton County included. According to the Denton Record Chronicle, there is only 8.5% enrolled, which is the lowest in the nation. If this continues, political fines and state seizures may take place. Speaking, there are threats. Bullies choose aggression over kindness because of their desire for power and dominance. When bullying, students see a more inferior student that they can gain from. They selfishly gain power by manipulating other students. They often see disabled students as inferior. They do not realize the mental consequence for the victim and themselves. Often a bully has gone through a mentally troubling experience themselves. Sometimes they have had a death of a loved one, family issues, peer issues, or even been bullied in the past. Bullies see these past experiences to make them inferior. An intellectual disability is a disorder in which one does not have mental abilities like most. According to Mill Creek Behavioral Health, these are defects involving reasoning, problem-solving, judgment, learning, and so on. With these defects in place, it is noticeable that they will not respond well to bullying. It is not easy for them to respond to negativity because they do not know the difference. Therefore, a bully presenting negativity is easily believable because they don't know any different. But most do know that negativity is not fun nor pleasant, meaning they will not respond with a happy attitude. I have witnessed disablist bullying at our own school. I have good relationships with special education students at our school, and it breaks my heart to hear and see with my own eyes and ears that bullying committed on these students. In some cases, I've recognized that it is simply out of hate for the disabled community, which resembles hate crime. Possible solutions are to increase security in schools on bullying observance, as well as require special education teachers to have a master's in education and preferably have a higher education on special education. Special education teachers should be qualified enough to deal with such issues. Special education services must be increased. A special educator must be willing to assist disabled students with any problem they suggest. Since only 10 U.S. studies have been conducted, there are still very many unanswered questions. One of which is why do most special educators are not qualified? Another is why schools do not address important special education needs, as well as more information on bullies' perspective. Why are bullies unaware of the consequences? This topic deserves further research for the safety and happiness of special education students.